Hey everybody, welcome back to Maths Virgin. I'm Brian, and that was terrible to watch, obviously.
And I'm Kim, and P.S. You're not the second option.
I mean, this episode was a masterclass in how to not write a romantic letter. There were some gems. Before we get into that, what is your non-maths content for this week?
Yeah, I feel like I've been really heavy in the Netflix stuff in the last couple of months. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that, a lot of the regular season stuff that's on normal TV is coming to an end. So I've just been diving more heavily into my streaming services. But Netflix has been the one of choice. My boyfriend and I have recently gotten into Louder Milk with the guy from Office Space, and he was Burger and Sex in the City. He has a real name, Ron Livingston. And he plays an addiction counselor. Will Sasso is also in it, and he is really great in it. But no, it's like a funny show. It's kind of dark. I don't know. It's good. I recommend it. There's 3 seasons. Looks like the first one came out in 2020. So we started with season 1 and we're moving our way through. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we're talking about Netflix, I will also stay on Netflix. I think everybody that I know is like, why aren't you watching Cheat on Netflix yet? I'm going to, guys. I'm gonna get it's a dating romantic show about cheaters that
I saw this one.
Yeah, I've not started it yet. I'm going to.
I mean,
in the meantime, I watched most of the first season of Bad Thoughts, which is Tom Segura's show. I don't know Tom Segura like that. Like I've not seen a lot of his stand-up or anything, but I know that he's a guy with a stand-up background.
Yeah.
The premise for this show, it's like long-form sketch stuff, so you might get 2 sketches per episode, but they are all centered on like the most awkward, uncomfortable situations you could find yourself in, and like for whatever reason not be able to leave. So you're trapped in a super uncomfortable situation that just keeps on getting worse by the moment for like 10 straight minutes. But they're all very funny.
Okay.
Like they could take this the other way and go Black Mirror with it. They didn't. It's like, no, we're going to make these like incredibly silly, really kind of bad luck has sort of fucked you yet again situations. But yeah, Bad Thoughts on Netflix, very much worth watching.
Feels like modern day Seinfeld.
It's not unlike that. I was trying to think, because of the sketch nature of it.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to think of something else that feels kind of similar to this. And in parts, it feels like a Black Lady sketch show on HBO back in the day. But it's they tend to take a situation, dial it up as far as you can go. Which the Whitest Kids You Know on MTV used to do that. But it felt like they didn't know how to get out of their sketches. Like they would just get to the end where things had gotten so insane. But no, this is much better. So yeah, highly recommend watching it. Also, we did launch 4 new graphics at Nifty 50. So go to nifty50apparel.com, see some new shit. And what couple do you want to start us off with this week?
I mean, should we just dive in with Grant?
We certainly can.
And there was a terrible note.
There was a lot for basically every couple.
Yeah.
Even by like Alexa and Lino standards, they got a lot of time this week. So yeah, there's no bad place to start off with. Yeah.
Let's start with Ashley and Grant and this really horribly written love letter.
Oh my God. Grant wrote Natalie a love letter. Allegedly.
Part of me is like, can he not just say normal words from his mouth and speak from his own heart and emotions, that he had to write this all down and read it to her? Did production ask him to do this? This just
we've seen him try to speak extemporaneously about his emotions. It doesn't go better than this either.
My God.
It's bad. But I had 2 thoughts. Number 1, like I am a sucker for the written word. On holidays, my wife will get a card that's got a long written thing from me about her and how I feel and all of that, which makes sense because we've been married for a long time now, and we've been dating for a couple years before that. He doesn't really know Natalie. Like he knows her as a vacation sex object is probably like the best way to put what their relationship has been so far.
I mean, I don't know what you're saying. She's given him the love he's always wanted.
I mean, apparently, I guess, according to him and his remedial writing skills, yeah, it was all very unfortunate for me. I will say I had forgotten that for the first third of the season, the whole storyline with Natalie was her butt, and I'm like, oh, that's right, her butt is supposed to be like spectacular, because they had a lot of shots of her butt. And I'm like, oh, that's what that was in the beginning. We talked about that a lot.
Oh, yeah, we sure did, and then we forgot about it because it's not a thing.
Other things became more interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, it's not a thing, number one, first and foremost, but other things kind of got in the way. But I was reminded on this date about that. So they did some glass bottom paddle boarding. Would this be a thing you would enjoy on a date?
No, I don't. I like if I'm going to do an outdoor activity, like I like it to involve more sitting, maybe a hike, but I don't like I don't ever want to go kayaking or canoeing. I don't know if that makes me a dud, but it's just not my thing. The most outdoorsy I get is I like a nice hike or a walk.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. And that's pretty much where I've always been. Like, I don't want to go do a really athletically challenging thing on a date. Because, like, number one, that's going to take away from my focus on, like, getting to talk to my date. Number two, there is a non-0% chance I'm going to get hurt real bad. And, like, if we are doing pottery, for example, which happened later on in this episode, I'm not going to get hurt doing that. I might, like, hurt a finger or something. But yeah, what they were doing, like, number one, the open ocean is my deepest fear. I think we might have talked about that. We don't belong out there.
Right.
But like if I'm doing that and also like I have to maintain my balance and my core strength on this paddle while also looking down through the glass part, which is going to be pretty disorienting for me, probably. And then also like try to flirt with this lady. No, I'm probably going to puke. I'm not going to handle any of that well.
I personally hate a swimsuit. I hate wearing swimsuits.
Okay.
I'm now that we're on YouTube, y'all can see I'm a very pale lady. It's just, it never really goes my way. I like to be fully covered up. I use like an 80 to 100 proof sunscreen just in general. But I like to cover my body. I don't like a swimsuit. It's not comfy. I would not want to be on a date in a swimsuit. I mean, maybe if I looked like Natalie, I wouldn't care. I don't really know. But for me personally, it's a hard no.
That is fair. And I will say a couple things quick. Number one, I would say for those who don't know Kim, your aesthetic is basically Raven from Teen Titans. And like and Raven is great, but she has she has an aesthetic that she goes with. And there's been episodes where like Raven has to go to the beach and it's weird looking. And you're right. Like it is, I can see that not being your thing. Number two, I just kind of feel like with these people in particular, and with Natalie and the way that she does things, and with Grant and the way that he does things, this would be a thing that they probably would enjoy doing, because for them, this is probably flirty and cute. And if I fall in the water, so what? I'm going to look perfect getting back out of it anyway. I'm not going to look awkward. I'm not going to like crawl back up out of it.
Right.
Yeah, for me, no, this is a no thanks. They did talk on this date as well about like what a future visit would look like if he came to visit her in Arizona. He ain't never gonna come visit her in Arizona.
No. Well, her friends are scarier than her dad.
Okay, he's not gonna be either one of those. So it's neat to know, but it's not gonna matter. He's not gonna come. Like this is part of why I feel like the show is pretty dumb. Like the stakes are pretty high on one end. You might get out of a very serious long-term relationship. On the other end, there is no, and then I'm going to like get serious with this person instead, because you don't live anywhere near each other in most of these cases.
I will say, and to your point, they haven't stayed together, but there have been people in previous seasons who have left the island with one of the tempters.
Oh, I could see that happening.
And in the first season of like the rebooted version, several years ago, one of the guys proposed to one of the house girls, like in real time at the final bonfire, like ended things with his girlfriend, and then like said, I'm going to leave the island with Morgan, went and found Morgan, proposed to Morgan, and they left together. They have since broken up, and it was real bad.
What? They broke up?
But it's happened. People have left the island with the other people before.
I can for certain see that happening. Like I can definitely see them saying, yes, we're going to find a way to make this work. And then by the time, they get home, it's like, boy, this would be a lot of fucking work for this person I've known for a week and a half.
When he's already thinking about introducing Natalie to his daughter, this is where I get like
insane.
I don't know. I guess I'm not a parent. What do I know, right? And I try not to judge how people parent, but he put himself on TV, and so here we are. He has his daughter with his former fiance, as we found out. Seems like Ashley's been in her life now they've been together like 2 years. And now it's like, oh, I'm done with Ashley. I'm moving on to this new girl. This new girl's obviously going to meet my daughter. And it's just, he just is bringing in just like woman after woman until he gets sick of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old his daughter is, but at some point I feel like as a kid, I would be like, Jesus.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend who I dated who has a son, and like I think we must have been together for maybe 6 months, like before I met him at all, and like anybody in the family. Like we were dating, we lived like 40 minutes apart, and like we would do stuff out near me, and then eventually she's like, all right, like it makes sense now to have you meet my whole family. Was not a thing where it's like, oh, we've had a couple of dates, like let's go hang out with my kid now.
Sure.
Like I'm planning for what that's going to, if I heard her say like, I'm planning for what it's going to be like when you meet my son already, I'm like, oof, that's quick. We've had a couple of dates.
Yeah.
No. So she handled it well. This is not handling it very well.
No.
Ashley and Danny on their date, they do pottery, which if I had a nickel for every dating show where they do pottery, all of a sudden, like this is a lot of pottery that's being done on these shows.
I mean, we do get the stereotypical ghost scene. I was also thinking about it, and I do not believe either of these two people were born when the movie Ghost came out. Danny was born 13 years after Ghost was released. Ghost was released in the Lord's year of 1990. Danny, as we know, is 22 years old. So,
wow. First of all, ouch. Feels personal. Second of all, like they might even have a reference to this being from Ghost, because I feel like all the references that we have to Ghost were also from 1990, and we just saw a lot of those references for years growing up. They weren't making those references in like 99 still, I don't think. Maybe they were, I don't know.
But someone on the production team did.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's exactly how we ended up with the scenes we got.
100%. This is what we should have gotten from Carlo and Juancho, and we just didn't get it.
100%.
But like, yeah, this was a fairly sexual scene between the two of them. A lot of touching. They kiss, which are we to believe this was their first kiss? Because they kind of talk about it like it was. I'm like, no, because y'all went into the tent, I thought.
Yeah. I thought they went in the tent to kiss. Maybe not.
They definitely went into the tent. They went in twice, because the first time they went in was just to like set the lights off. And then they had a for real, let's go into the tent. But then they kiss here, and to listen to Taylor and Ashley talk about it later on, it was like, oh my God, did you guys kiss? And it's like, well, yeah, we've been making out for 4 days. Of course we did. So I'm a little bit confused here.
Yeah. Was, I don't know if it was just the way those two were communicating. Like maybe they were told, go off and talk about your dates. And that was how Taylor, like, did you kiss?
He was like, well, I had my head like laying back on his chest. I'm trying to send the signal. And I'm like, why don't you just kiss him? And like, I was thrown a little bit by what I was supposed to be taking from their interaction.
God.
Yeah.
I don't know. But whatever.
I'm happy they're making out. Good.
Yeah.
Like, it's about fucking time some of these women start making out on camera.
Yeah. And then he sleeps in her room that night.
Sure does.
So
sure does. But again, she has to go out of her way. Hey, we're just sleeping. Okay. And I'm like, number one, you're probably gonna make out. But number two, why are you setting it up front?
They at least did hand stuff, They
had to do some hand stuff. They as our my 8th grade health teacher would call it, they had some digital sex.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, you're 13 and you're hearing that for the first time.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm thinking, especially in the 90s, for me, it would be like, what do you mean? Is this what cybersex is? It's digital?
Yeah, that would make more sense. Which was also a thing at that same time. So yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I just remember that stands out very strongly for me.
Hey, old chat rooms, age, sex, location, baby.
We were all just catfishing each other and putting ourselves in dangerous positions for years without realizing it. But yeah, they're laying in bed. They make out. They probably do some digital sex. Ashley's bonfire. They show her Grant's real corny love letter. Happy she got to see that.
Yeah.
And then Marky Mark, again, just doing the deep emotional work, confronts her and is like, I'm worried you don't have a healthy definition of love.
Yeah.
And her face fell off and landed on the floor. Like she cracked immediately upon hearing these words.
Yeah. He was dropping truth bombs during this, I feel, was his strongest bonfire performance to date.
It had to have been. He was on fire. Like he turned it up. He understands end of the season is coming. And like, I know it's a long shot, but Emmy nominations are due pretty soon.
Yeah.
Let me get my shit in and see if I can get one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He said to her, I'm trying to free you. And I went, damn, Mark.
Right. And like, you know her man too. So like, this is coming from a deep place for you.
Yeah.
When they have Grant's bonfire, we finally get to see one of the dudes see his girlfriend like make out with somebody else.
Yep.
And like lay up in the bed with this guy. And, you know, it felt like they showed him every bit of footage that they had. Him and Tyler both. It's like, we're just going to show you the raw, unedited, however long this went on for.
Yep, here it is.
React to that. I was happy he had to see it, but he didn't really have any kind of reaction to it beyond being like, well, I'm off the hook now, right? That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, I don't need to watch any more of this.
Yeah. Like, first of all, like, gross. I don't like seeing her kiss somebody else. Number two, I can have sex with everybody at one time right now because I'm off of the hook because she kissed a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah. And he said something like, well, she made it clear she moved on when she didn't send a message. Sir, you had already banged someone several times. She saw it. What was she supposed to think?
She also saw you say, like, I'm gonna make a video and like break up with her or whatever.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, no, you have declared yourself single. There's no space for you at this point, Shower Sex Jones, to be all up in your feelings. And he's one of the worst dudes. I know Brion takes all the flack, which he should. But
Grant's real bad.
Grant's also trash.
Yeah. He said something like, we should have cut this off a long time ago. No, you didn't. That's not what you... No, stop. Stop.
Nope. All this is bad.
Stop
and
it.
You're bad. And you're getting off the hook a little bit because there's worse people on this show, but you're bad.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the worst person on the show, or do you want to go
I
to
would
another
love
couple?
to talk about the worst person on the show, who we finally find out a little bit about.
A little bit, and it's irrelevant. And we're going to talk about it. And like, it's I guess, nice to know he's got like some issues in his past that could contribute to some of his pathologies now.
Yep.
This is not a get out of jail free card. These are unrelated. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But first we see him like walk in the house all sad sack after the video thing. And he is very much kind of woe is me, Michael Cera from Arrested Development, hang my head and walk in the house gif. And Amaya's like, what are you like? You don't get to act this way. Like, yes, she's mad because you had sex with two other women for hours in the bathtub.
Right. Exactly.
Like, no, she gets to be upset and you're not taking any responsibility for what you did. And then she specifically points out, like, you said you never cheated on her. You told me that. Turns out you had to say, oh, yeah, I meant like not here. Like, otherwise, I've never cheated on her. That's what are you doing?
And she was basically like, dude, come on. I feel like she just realized this dude is trash. I do not want to be associated with him at all. No. I do not want clips of me and him on a date living on the internet or on Netflix for all my days to come. I don't want any of that. I need to not go on this.
I don't want to be in a position where maybe they give us another like massage style date like he had with Angel before.
Yeah, it was with Angel.
Like, yeah, great. Now I get to lay here in this man I don't like, who makes me uncomfortable, gets to like push me wherever he wants. Like, I don't want that.
Yep.
So she declines the date. I'm out.
I love it.
And then he's like, I don't care. I'll go on my own. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you don't really have much of an option. You're going on your own or you're staying at the house.
Yeah.
So congrats on being the big man. I'm going on my own anyway. I don't give a shit.
I don't even care. The only thing I care about is where Shantae's head is at. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
It's not the only thing you care about.
No. For the first, I don't know, 7 or 8 days you've been on this island, the only thing you cared about was finding out who was also down with a threesome. Like, stop.
I'm still convinced that he had never actually had a threesome before. And he was just saying it enough in hopes that someone would trust that he had and do it.
Yes. I think there was, in the very beginning, I said that there was, for me, 2 possibilities. Either he had only had threesomes forever, or he had had one threesome and it like blew his mind. And it was like when he was 19 and knew what he was doing.
Right.
And now he wants to try it again.
Yeah.
And like all he wants to do is, I need to have one more of these to like redeem myself from that bad time I had when I was younger. I think there's a third possibility here. And I take this from a friend of mine who will remain nameless, but I think you've met this person before at the Big Ten Championship, and he does not play D&D with us on Sundays. So that kind of narrows down to who it might have been.
Yep.
He often, for all through college and to this day, we'll talk about this time that he could have had a threesome and basically like blew it. And like he got a little bit, he was in a room alone with 2 girls in college, making out with both of them, having a great time. Like, this is not something that happened to him on the regular at all.
Right.
And then he said he got a little bit like too overzealous and was like trying to move too fast. And the girl's like, hey man, why don't you calm down? And then he kind of didn't react to that properly and was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then the vibe was blown and they like went back to the party they were at. And he just sat in there for like a long time, like processing,
evaluating his choices.
Yes. And I can see that being a Brion thing where it's like, I almost had it one time. Like I was right there.
Yeah.
And then I fucked something up and like I have replayed that moment in my head a million times. And like if I just hadn't done that, and if I had Shantae as like a partner who's out here trying to get girls for us to have the threesome, boy, that would be a whole lot easier than me doing it on my own.
Yep.
And then I think there's a possibility that like he did it and either, I mean, knowing him, was probably not very good at it.
No.
It was kind of like, boy, okay, I did that. Turns out I was kind of the third wheel, and I didn't love that, which is why it took me until the birds were out in the morning to finally finish.
Right.
So yeah, I think that might be what's happening here with him.
I agree.
I hope it is. I hope he's never had it and then did it and was bad at it and was like, this is pretty embarrassing. Don't want Shantae to see this side of me.
Yeah, I hope it is too. Too bad.
So he has his little sad boy by himself day out. God. He goes to get like a sad smoothie. It's very much a Keiichi pouting over his ice cream. And he says he's come to the realization he doesn't like being alone. And I'm like, yeah, man, obviously.
Yeah, dude.
Clear as fucking. You didn't know that about yourself?
Like, oh my God. I hate him more every day.
He's very frustrating. Shantae and Gio go glass blowing.
Yeah.
Did we ever see the finished product of them blowing the glass?
I don't think we did. And there's probably a reason for that.
We tried to get some powder together, and then that was like basically it.
Yeah. And you could tell that Gio's sick of Brion's shit too without even meeting him. Just the way Shantae is talking about it and the way he responds. You can tell that he's just like, this guy's a fucking joker.
Yeah. This is clown. And like, whether he's really into Shantae or not, it's kind of hard to imagine that he is, because she hasn't really put herself in a position where he could like develop any real, feelings for her or anything.
Yeah.
But like, whether he is or not, he's got to be like, she's a quality person.
Yes.
Like she's, deserves better than like this absolute piece of shit that she's crying over all the time. The glass blowing itself for me is like, this is an activity you do with somebody you have no sexual interest in the first place. Yeah. There's not a way for them to like touch during this. And like, have you seen the glass blowing show on Netflix, Blown Away?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It is the same thing as Great British Bake Off, only they make glass things instead of baked goods. There's one where they make pottery on HBO Max, the Great Pottery Throwdown, I think is what it's called. There's all these, it's all the same show.
Yeah.
On Blown Away, what you watch in the first season, what you realize is basically every turn and everything you do, blowing glass has like a sexual name to it or
Yeah.
motion you have to do.
Yeah.
The hole that you put the glass in to like get hot is literally called the glory hole. And they just talk about it like openly, okay, it's going in the glory hole. And it was like, Jesus Christ, can we address the fact that you guys are calling it a glory hole over and over again?
Yeah.
So there was open room on this date to make lots of sexual puns, as we've seen pottery people do in the past as well. And they just didn't do it. They made some glass, talked a little bit. They have a new catchphrase, easy being Shanteezy, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It was just a nice time. It was a nice afternoon.
Terrible.
For the two of them.
Let's talk about Shantae's bonfire.
Yeah.
Because she gets to watch Brion get dumped, which had to be pretty satisfying.
I loved it. And she somewhat addresses this, though, is that, like, I love that she gets to see this. She feels justified in how she's felt, like, all of this. But at the same time, this is the man she is claiming. This is the man she has brought on because she wants to spend her life with. And she talks about like clearly there's more going on in this house that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
For Amaya she doesn't know her name, but for Amaya to feel this way, right? Yeah. Like, what has been happening? What has he been doing that I don't know? And I would be like, a whole lot, girl. He's an embarrassing person. And it is a reflection of you.
Yeah. Oof. You didn't see the part where he was like, every time I try to like very forcefully have sex with her, she's like, ouch, that hurts. Like, she didn't even get to see the footage of him talking about their sex life with Amaya.
Or just how he's been speaking to the women in the house in general, or about the women in the house in general, or to the other men about their relationships. Yeah. Everything that comes out of his mouth is awful.
It's
the way that he talked to Amaya when they were going to sit and journal was awful. The conversation he had with Angel was awful. And there's a reason that he is alone on this date by himself, and she is not seeing anything else happening because he's been a toxic piece of shit.
Yeah. And like almost feels deliberately so.
Yeah.
We used to watch the VH1 reality shows back in the day.
Oh, hell yeah.
His persona belongs on like I Love New York or something, where it's like, I am here to get on TV and to say some insane things. And like, if I hurt somebody's feelings along the way, that's kind of a bummer, but like not that big of a deal. And so I'm just going to try to get famous here a little bit. And like, on the other hand, Shantae is so like earnest. Just like, I want my relationship to work. I'm thinking about our children.
Yeah.
Like, it's real fucked up. There was something that Amaya did say that I wanted to run by you. She said that she's like a big girl's girl, which is why she was like, I can't even entertain like doing anything with this dude because he's got this girlfriend he treats badly, and she needs to know that like this is what he's doing and all of that. I am not a girl's girl. I'm not any kind of a girl at all. So I don't really have like the background to say one way or the other on this, but it kind of feels like if you're coming on a show where your whole job on the show is to be like a sexual object to seduce this other girl's boyfriend, it's kind of weird to be like, well, I would never like hook up with some other girl's boyfriend. Like, I'm a girl's girl. I wouldn't do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept to debate, I guess, because I see what she's saying, but to your point, it's like, yeah, but you chose to come on a show where the object is to steal someone's partner away. But maybe in her mind, it's like, well, if they're already coming on this and the relationship's over, and in the end of this relationship, this woman didn't do anything to deserve this, right? I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy for sure.
Yeah, it sort of feels like you're being a girl's girl by not hooking up with this guy who you're grossed out by, but who's also in a relationship. But if it was a situation where she genuinely felt like he was wronged in his relationship, where like his girlfriend cheats on him all the time, and like he is just working extra shifts to like try to buy the house that she wants and all these things, and he's still getting treated badly, she could have been like, well, I'm not trying to protect this girl's relationship. Like, she's a piece of shit. In this case, she's like, no, dude, your boyfriend's a hunk of shit. Like, you need to know what he's doing in this house to make all of us so uncomfortable.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe it was she's a girl's girl to the women in the house at this point,
Yeah.
right? Like he's been shitty to all of these
These
people
women.
that I've been living with. Like he's making us all feel uncomfortable. So I'm not going to entertain this any further and justify his behavior in this house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that might be where it is. And it was wild to me watching Shantae watch Amaya turn the date down because she's like really praising her for finally someone putting this guy in his place. And I'm like, that you're supposed to be someone. Finally,
do it.
Like before you guys got to the show.
Yeah, do it.
Right. Like she is so proud of Amaya for like doing and saying the things that she won't say and do. Be like her. Pretend
Well,
you're
and
her.
Mark point blank asks her, you know, he says to her, "You going to be as strong as Amaya and stand your ground when Brion's right in front of you?" And she dances around it.
Yeah. You know, maybe we'll see. Yeah, no, I feel bad because I'm afraid this is gonna go where I think it's gonna go, which is them staying together and we're gonna work things out. And I had the threesome. I don't want to do it ever again, and I'm afraid she's gonna, or better yet, I did just watch, like she suggested that I heard a second ago.
Yeah.
Brion's bonfire. They don't have obviously any footage of like Shantae with another dude, so they can't show any of that.
Yeah.
They're trying really hard to get him to be like, don't you feel bad for the emotional damage you're doing to this woman?
Yeah.
So they show her like spinning out about like how embarrassing this is.
Yeah.
And just the thought process of me sitting her future children down with it to make them watch this raunchy mess and be like, but your dad didn't do it. Yeah, never mind what Grant's doing. Like, don't look directly at Tyler and Kay.
Exactly.
Like, oh, look how in love your parents were back then.
Oh my God. Just, well, and he talks about himself in the third person several times. He's like, Brion is this. Brion is, stop.
It's so bad. It is. I don't have a single friend who would do that.
Stop.
Like not seriously. I mean, our mutual friend Bobby does call himself all kinds of nicknames, but not for real.
No.
Like if he was sitting down talking about like the deep introspection that he's done, and like, boy, I've done some soul searching, and am I really what I think I am? He would not talk about the third person then.
No.
Good God. They talk about his sad childhood, as we alluded to.
Right.
And like it is very touching.
Yeah.
That his parents were dealing with addiction. He grew up in the foster care system, and sounds like he might have either gotten adopted or just like long-term, foster in a white household as the only Black person. And all of these things are like very touching to know about him. Mm-hmm. Have nothing at all to do with you making everyone so uncomfortable, though. They're not related to each other at all.
No. He also dumps all of this in at the end of filming. I mean, maybe he talked with the other people in the house about this. It does not seem like he did by the men's reactions. But he waits until he has put himself in a really bad place, right? Like where everyone is like, this guy is trash. And then goes, well, this is why I'm trash. And it's two things can be true. He could have this really rough time growing up, and it sounds like things were not great, and I have empathy for that.
Yeah.
But you can also be a trash person, and while there probably is some crossover as to why you react to things the way you do, I don't know, I'm not a therapist, but just common sense, right? What happened to you in your childhood did not create you being a sociopath obsessed with threesomes. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. And like, we've seen other reality TV villains who had terrible childhoods.
Yeah.
Sounds like Bethany Frankel's childhood was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
How about Kenya Moore? Mom won't talk to her and shit. Like all these are really fucked up childhoods. That doesn't excuse the bad things they do either. So like, yes, it's fucked up. You had a really sad childhood. That's messed up. You should pursue therapy to deal with these things because it works and it'll make you feel better and help you to get past all of these things. That has nothing to do with the fact that every conversation you had for the first 5 days was about how addicted to threesomes you are at all times.
Yeah.
Those are not related to each other one way or the other.
Yeah. I think, and not that, I mean, I guess he just met these women, right? But I feel him talking about his growing up is a more compelling story than I'm obsessed with banging two women at once.
Yeah, and my girlfriend is just not as big of a nasty sexual freak as I am.
Yeah.
Like, no, talk about your. I mean, he's been in situations where there was time to talk deeply
Yeah.
about yourself, and he was like, "I don't want to talk about that."
Well, also, is there a disconnect between he and Shantae because maybe she grew up differently? Maybe he hasn't expressed all of this to her. Maybe there's something there, right? Like maybe there's a deeper emotional disconnect because of their upbringings. I don't know. We don't know much about her life. Maybe it is similar. I don't really know, but it feels like he could have explored that more. We could have had a deeper understanding of their relationship based on what he has chosen to share now. And I'm saying that because he's choosing to share it now as an excuse for his behavior. I'm not saying he needed to come share this, but if you're going to drop it now as this is an excuse for my behavior, then like just drop it at the beginning and talk to people about if this is this significant to how it affects how you behave in life, then talk about it.
Yeah, you got to lead with it if it is this much of a hindrance to your relationship. Right. If it's this big of a deal, you really should be figuring out what impact this is having on your current relationship with Shantae, and why it's making you feel like you need to have this volume or variety of sex all the time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there could be real reasons for that. This is not this is not the moment to do it. Yeah. And it's not really the context to do it either.
Yeah.
He and Marky Mark have some therapy, which like you need to have actual therapy from an actual therapist.
Yes.
Like this is, talk about your feelings. This is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
Brion.
Yeah, no, fuck him. I look forward to his eventual demise here, but I think she's gonna stay with him.
Yeah.
Do you want to do Alexa and Lino or Tyler and Taylor?
Yeah, let's do Alexa and Lino.
Okay. They got a little bit of time this week.
Yeah, they sure did.
A teensy little bit of time.
I feel like my first thing that I wrote about him is that because he obviously asked Alex on the date. Mm-hmm. He is still delusional about his journey with Alex. At one point he says, like, I asked her because we were always into each other. My guy, she fucked your roommate. No,
she fucked your roommate and brought a homegirl with her to experience with her. Like it's just not like she's not into you.
She helped you work out one time for 10 minutes.
One time, like the day after everyone got to the house,
and then like 7 hours later, banged your roommate.
Mm-hmm. After going to hang out with him, not part of a date, just going to hang out with him one-on-one, where they just talked about how bad they wanted to fuck for 45 straight minutes.
My God.
And he could just say what the women all say. Like I brought Alex on the date because I think that we have a lot of fun together, and it's good to have a friend to like talk about the way things are going with or whatever. But instead he's like, nah, I brought her because I know that, we had this whole thing where we like try to deny it, blah, 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 whatever. She wants the D still. And I'm like, no, she doesn't.
He keeps talking about, he says this in his bonfire too. Like, I just need, I had this hall pass and I needed to be tempted. And it's like, yeah, but that's because you weren't going to do anything about it because you have no game and these girls didn't want it.
Exactly. They didn't want it. No, they didn't want what you were selling. And I think deep down Alexa knew that. She's like, he's not gonna, he can't close on any of this. Yeah. It's gonna go so bad for him.
Yeah.
Alexa and Max have their date. I just call this amorphous white spirituality.
Yes.
I don't think this is rooted in any like long tradition. It's like, I'll make up a little bow that I do here, and here's some sage, and like a bunch of shit all thrown together.
Just some kind of meditation. Carla would be horrified.
I hope she never has to see this. Like, I hope that she can just never be told this exists. Alexa says that she realizes she needs to listen to her heart. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I don't know what your heart is saying, but sure, why not? This was a little bit confusing. I don't know exactly where it came from. Mm-hmm. But she said that she came to the show to get clarity on what Lino wanted. And what she's realized is that she wants him as much as he wants her. I'm like, I don't know how you came to that conclusion.
I don't know either. I also feel like if you played a drinking game during the show and had to take a shot every time someone said clarity, you'd be blacked out 10 minutes in.
Yeah, congratulations on your alcohol poisoning. That throwing pump is gonna suck. Right at the very end of this scene, I gasped a little bit at my house. They show like this whole time you have a 3-shot where you have Alexa on one side, Max on the other side, and like their instructor in the middle. And that's how this whole scene has been shot. The very end, they show there's a woman sitting 1 foot next to their instructor who has not said a word. Who was just sitting there also. I was like, who the fuck is that? That threw me off entirely.
Maybe she just brings extra vibes.
I mean, apparently, is she their producer for the segment? That's just
maybe.
I just don't know.
Maybe she is.
It was a weird choice to show her because you didn't have to show her.
Also, shout out to Max when it came his turn to talk about how he praised all 4 women because he's a gift to this world. How is she going for derpy Lino over this sweet, attractive young man? I don't understand it.
I don't know. I think it's only because Lino has proven himself trustworthy, but like not trying to fuck anybody. I think if he was making out with somebody, then she'd also be down to clown. But I think she's like, well, I am not going to be the one that fucks this up. Like you're not unable to use your dick. I'm not going to fuck it up for both. I'll be the villain then.
She was already in the bad position of she had cheated before, all of that. So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to double it up.
But now what if I don't blame her now?
Well, no. I mean, she should cheat. Makes sense. So Alexa has her bonfire.
Yeah.
And they show her the clip of him really badly trying to flirt with Alex and like fucking it up all along the way.
Oof.
That's the worst thing they can show her.
How does she has to watch that and go, oh, no, there's no way anything happened. This is horrible.
Right?
Maybe she finds it endearing that he is so bad at this. Also, do you think it ever registers to her or Shantae that this is one of Brion's threesome partners?
Whoa, wait. I don't know that it does.
Okay.
I think if it occurred to anybody, it would be Shantae.
Yeah.
But I think that for Shantae, the threesome was with 2 like faceless people.
Yeah.
I think that she has dissociated entirely and is like, he went into a bathroom with 2 women, probably just watched them mutually stand naked in the shower and not touch for 5 hours, and then came back out.
Right.
So I don't think they do realize it, but like I think if they did, they'd mention it. Like, hold on a minute, wait a minute now.
Isn't that girl? Yeah.
That time I saw her, she was limping out of the bathroom. What's all this about? But yeah, it's still a boring clip. It's like 5 days old at this point. Like this is not relevant at all.
No.
At Lino's bonfire, he sees the clip of Alexa saying that like she's focusing on making relationship work and that like I want to be with him. There is something that they each say that when I think he said it first, and I'm like, well, I don't understand that. Then she said it too. And I'm like, why does this matter to y'all? Where he says in the video, there's only one me and only one you. And they look at that like it is some, I don't know, Nicholas Sparks bullshit. Like, what is this?
Yeah, they were very like, yeah, they thought this was the most romantic thing that anyone has ever said about each other.
I think Alexa cries when she's talking about it. I'm like, word?
Yeah, yes, there is only one of each of you. Cloning did happen in the early zeros, but I don't think either of y'all are a sheep.
No.
We are not watching Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. There is only one of each of you in this world. Scientifically, that is very accurate.
Yeah, has nothing to do with whether you guys should be together or not. This is just a statement of fact.
Yeah.
But they look at it like, oh my God, like, can you believe that he came up with these words on his own with no help? It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. I don't like it.
And because, there's just one of each of them. There's only one Lino and there's only one Alexa. He's going to propose. So
of course he is. And she's going to say yes. And I'm just like, can we just fucking get that shit over with then? Like, just do it. I don't know what I'd want to watch on this show. And I guess make the episodes a little bit shorter because there isn't like another couple. I'm like, ooh, well, give me some more of this mess going on.
Right.
But yeah, I'm ready for them to be gone because it's obvious where this is heading.
Yeah.
let's end here with Tyler and Taylor quick.
Yep.
Taylor and Yaman, I'm calling them Taman. They go on their date. And I was very concerned watching her walk down this steep embankment. I'm like, your ankles are gonna fucking fuck up. You're gonna slip on like some dew. This was a steep incline. Maybe because I'm old. I don't know. But I was worried about her.
It was intense.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. There were roots.
I mean, they seem to be having a good time overall. And I don't know, and obviously she gets over this eventually, but at first she just seems so awkward when he touched her. And it's just like, lean into it. He's hot, he's friendly, he's fun.
Why not?
Like, he's putting his arm around you, like, just get into it, man.
Have some fun. Have some fun. Watching them on this date, she talks about how, like, oh, I'm respecting the boundaries that we set up, even though obviously Tyler is not, but I'm doing it to like prove to myself that I'm like, what? I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you want to have sex with this dude, have sex with this dude.
Just do it. All I gathered was at the end of that whole diatribe, she was like, there's no relationship to respect anymore. And so that's why she kissed him. Like, all right, good job. And then kissing with the berries in the mouth, now you can go back to respecting your relationship, please.
That shit was foul.
So
that was nasty. I watched that and I'm like, no. Lady and the Tramp is gross enough. And they like just lip kiss. This is you guys passing like crushed up raspberries back and forth.
Up berries, just baby birding it.
A smoothie going back and forth between the two of you. It was foul. A spit smoothie. Yeah, I'm happy they made out. That made me happy. The first kiss was pretty hot in the water. The berry kiss, I didn't need.
No.
Didn't need it.
No.
Tyler and Kay have their date. It's a mud massage.
Hated it.
I'm not down with getting covered in mud. I got a coffee ground massage on my honeymoon, and even then I'm like, I feel gross after this.
Again, you have to wear swimsuits. They were also both wearing white clothes before this, which then minute they busted out mud, I was like, oh, it gave me anxiety. Just don't rub mud on me. This is not sexy. This is gross. It's not detoxing anything. It's mud.
It's not even hot. It's probably like room temperature or cold. Like, I don't want this. He kisses her belly after covering it in mud, and I'm like, don't do that. Kay in her confessional talks about how like Tyler makes her feel so secure. I mean, that's ironic because he's got a girlfriend and you're his side piece. So like that, knowing that makes you feel secure.
Natalie said that too at one point. She's like, I just feel so safe. And it's what is safety to you ladies? Because this feels real dangerous.
He met you and 2 days later was having sex with you in the shower.
Yeah.
You think you're the only person on the planet that he would do that with. This is a sign that you guys should be together, not a sign that this dude pulls his dick out at any moment that he can get it at something.
I'm gonna take it back to Ghost. You in danger, girl.
Yeah, you in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl.
It's fucked up. Taylor and Ashley have their hangout, which talked about a little bit before on the other side of things. Like I said, I mean, watching them talk about it, it was very cute. Them talking about the kiss, it felt like high school to me. At this point, while discussing the kiss, I think Ashley asks if it was good, and then Taylor says yes, like we kissed the same way, and then she trashes super aggressive kissers, or super aggressive like first kisses at least. And Ashley's like, oh my god, yeah, that shit's so fucking gross. And I'm like, we saw Grant kiss Natalie the first time, and he pushed his face into her face so hard, so many times.
Yeah. So Ashley's probably like, thank God I'm done with that, because that was too much.
Yeah, either that or like, yeah, that would be horrible to one day kiss a man like that. I think she had to be saying, yeah, no, it is weird that he's just like doing a full body roll with each kiss. Essentially, it's a lot. It's
really bad. We also see Tyler and Kay each talk about falling in love.
Oh,
in what world?
Y'all don't know each other. Probably don't know their middle names.
So do they know each other's last name?
She might know his. He does not know hers. I can say that with certainty. Yeah, no, this is not love. This is you guys hooking up on vacation.
Yeah.
That's all this shit is.
It's just dear God.
we do hear for the first time Taylor say yes, she'd be down to hook up with Yaman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so go hook up with
Do
him, man.
it.
Damn, like go do it.
You don't need a tent.
No,
you got a room.
You got a room. You
She's
got a
down.
room. You've got ground outside. Like, I don't know. Go do it then if you want to do it. And she's like, yeah, I really want to, but like, I don't know. just
do it.
Do it if you feel like doing it. Let's talk about Taylor's bonfire.
Yeah.
Quick. So see the footage of Tyler with the mud saying that he wants to wash their relationship away, which like, okay, whatever. You think you got
and about falling in love.
And about falling in love. And she's like, I think she openly laughs at that too.
Yeah.
We see Tyler and Kay making out in bed. The audio clip of him saying okay. Is he saying okay? Or is he saying like okay?
I was getting the like okay, like I like you, like that kind of thing. Like okay, because I don't know that maybe they have. I don't feel like these two have fucked yet. And so but I feel like they both are there, obviously. And so I wonder if that was like in response to he's still for whatever reason trying to hold off from doing that. And so his response instead of he maybe goes between telling someone their trouble and just going, oh, you.
I think we're on the same page. I think it was like an okay. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think it was for the same reason. Yeah. Where it's like, if we keep on making out, I'm going to ejaculate everywhere. So like, let's stop.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, time for bed.
Yeah.
Like, kind of how I read that. But in any event, they see that go down.
Yeah.
Marky Mark is like, hey, how's it make you feel? It's like, oh, I'm happy he's falling in love. And he's like, bitch, for real, how does it make you feel?
Just the inflection of his voice. Cool. Now tell me how you really feel.
Right? And then she's like, I don't have emotions for him anymore. Like, I don't care what he does. Like, I'm empty for him now. Which was wild, but I guess, I mean, that sounds pretty accurate, where she's like, I don't care what he does anymore. Like, he's a gross dude I'm never going to have feelings for again.
Yeah. She says she's empty about it. Really.
Which, like, yeah, so go have sex with Yaman right after this then. But I know when they get back from the bonfire, well, yeah, when they get back from the bonfire, they're going to walk into a funeral scene, and they're each going to be like, hey, man, how you holding up, Tiger? Like that's what they're going to get into instead of, like, she's going to run in there and, like, throw her underwear at him or whatever.
Yeah.
Tyler's bonfire. The very first thing they show is her like mid make out with Yaman in the water. There's no lead up. There's no like them talking. It is just right away they are making out, and that's all they show him.
Yep.
It's just he's like, all right, man, it's enough. Like they're doing the same thing for a long time.
Yeah. Well, because he also went into that bonfire being like, I haven't seen her with anyone consistently. So, in his soul, he was like, oh, she's not even meeting anyone. And it was like, no. You either weren't paying attention or you're just ignorant, because this man she's making out with is the same man that you saw just like sensually painting his name on her legs 2 bonfires ago.
That is 100% what happened. And he was not paying attention then and isn't now. But then Marky Mark, they talk about it, he's like, oh, I got into this relationship and I wasn't ready yet. And it was like too soon. And it was right after this other thing and blah, blah, blah. Because I think he was still married when they met or whatever.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Marky Mark is like, well, I'm going to give you some grace on that. Like, no, man, then don't get into a relationship. Or like when you realize that, get out of it. But like be in it still. I'm like, no, I'm just going to cheat.
Yeah, 100%. That was the only time during the whole bonfire that I was like, Mark, you were doing so well.
He really was.
Especially because I feel that Tyler was painting Taylor as a rebound at this point. After all that, they've been together the longest, I think, out of everyone.
I'm pretty sure.
And so maybe people have an almost 3-year rebound. I personally, it wouldn't be my choice. But I think this man is a serial monogamist. I have post-show information that leads me to continue to believe that.
Okay.
And I think that he's just a young fuckboy. And so don't paint her as a rebound because you can't handle your shit.
No, that's not what this is.
Yeah,
he's fucking trash. And I look forward to never seeing him on TV again. Like I'm ready to get out of that. Before we close things up here, a little bit of housekeeping. So after this season, I think we're going to do an old season of Maths, and I'll put like 2 choices in our Facebook group, Maths Virgin Fan Club. and you guys can vote on which one you want to do. I would love to show Kim. There's a few that I would like to show. So like Charlotte makes sense, but everyone talks about Charlotte all the time, and it's the one that gets all the shine. And I think there's enough coverage of Charlotte. So I would say Houston. I would say DC. Trying to think there's any others. I think Atlanta would be fun to do as well. So maybe I'll put 2 of those in there instead of giving you too many options, and all of a sudden we have a plurality at 18%. But I'll get that in there. And y'all, that is the show. If you like us, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, tell your friends to help us grow the show. If you didn't like us, give us a 5-star rating anyway and lie to your friends. Seriously, subscribe to us on YouTube. I came to find out the last 2 episodes didn't post. I fucked up. So I will get those posted today. I thought they were up there. They were not. So I'll get those up there and this one too. You can also follow us on Instagram and Threads at Mavs Virgin and join our Facebook group, the Mavs Virgin Fan Club. We'll get these jokes off all week. You guys can vote on which season we're going to do next, and we will see you guys next time.